Hey guys, Crewman here, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but there is a very good chance that AMD is going to pop the GPU bubble that is going on right now. The surging demand that is leading to astronomically high used prices and astronomically high new prices might come to an end thanks to what AMD did today. At $600 MSRP, which is phenomenal, that means that you can expect somewhere between $750 to $850 partner prices, which means that as long as AMD has stock, guys, I think the GPU bubble is going to collapse. And I cannot believe I'm saying that. Now, if you've been following me, you know that I said there will be 3 events that could potentially cause the collapse. The first one was the 5070 Ti, and that didn't do anything. It just made it worse. The second one was supposed to be the 5070, but AMD scared NVIDIA, which is great to say because you want there to be a 2-horse race. And NVIDIA pushed their release back to a day later than the 9070 XT. I always thought that if AMD priced it right and they had supply, the 9070 XT could be the GPU that could lead to the collapse of this dumb bubble that we're living in. Now, I do want to say the big preface, and before we all get super excited, is there has to be enough stock. But, you gotta figure, I've held these cards in my hand, right? Like, I've literally seen probably 7 different models at CES. I held them, they were there, and I even gamed on one, which means they've been out, and the AMD's been ready to launch these. As you know, that botched press briefing at CES, which honestly was worth it. If this is what this led to, this was absolutely the right move for AMD. So that means that there's got to be a ton of these things been made. The supply has just been building up and building up and building up and building up, which means that they should have enough supply to sedate at least some of the demand. So basically, if on launch day, everybody who lines up at, say, a Micro Center and everybody who tries to buy one at like a Best Buy, if there is like a window where you can get these things for most of the first day, then they've fixed the supply and it's only going to get better because there's no Chinese New Year or anything to mess it up. Which means that if there's enough supply of this thing, the shortage is dead. Because look at this performance. Minus 2% on average in native 4K Ultra versus the 5070 Ti, which means that this thing is basically somewhere between a 4080 and a 4080 Super. So if that is what this is, right? If this is a $600 MSRP 4080, which means the realistic price is going to be, like I said, $750 to $850. And I'm not saying a 4080 because I think NVIDIA is better. I'm just saying it because the 4080 seems to be what the benchmark of every GPU of this current generation is being measured to in terms of price to performance. Then that means AMD is going to single-handedly fix this crazy bubble we live in. Because with the exception of the 90 classes, which is a completely different shortage, okay? So don't expect 4090s or 3090s or 5090s or frankly even 5080 prices to go down. Because the 5080 is basically a 4090 when you overclock it. But the 4080 Super, the 4080, every other 40 class GPU will crash down to earth. There's no way anybody's going to pay $750 used for a 4070 when they could buy a 9070 XT for, let's say, $750 to $800 brand new. So this is going to single-handedly collapse the 30 series and the 40 series used market, which will also lead to a collapse of the new market prices for the 5070 Ti, because the 5070 Ti is suddenly just a brick. It is literally going to be a brick unless you can get an MSRP. Now, of course, the big other thing that I haven't talked about that's going to be important is the ray tracing performance, right? First, these benchmarks have to be confirmed by third-party reviewers, which will come, and I will try to get one on launch day so I can get you some kind of quick video out as well and give you my thoughts. And if the 9070 XT can get close, even within 5 to 10% of the ray tracing performance of a 4080, woo-wee, AMD has got a banger on its hands. As long as there's no supply problem, which I would think there's not going to be because this thing has been out since January. Like, I've literally gamed on one of these things 2 months ago. About a little less than a month and a half ago, give or take. Maybe our prayers have been answered, guys. Now, obviously, we have to wait for third-party reviews, which should come sometime middle of next week. I can't imagine AMD having their review embargo go live the same day these things are selling if they're that excited about these prices. and the early leaks look really, really good. The stuff I saw from the press briefing, which I can now talk about, was amazing. Now, they didn't compare it to the 50 series in the press briefing. They only compared it to the 3090. They compared it to some older GPUs, and we had questions about that. So they obviously changed it around, which is good to see. But my first impression is we are back, baby. And unless there's something more nefarious, like something involving DeepSpeak or some other AI nonsense that's causing this shortage, which I'm not sure it is, but I'm not sure it isn't. If it's just straight demand and panic buying, AMD has fixed the market. The shortage is about to be over. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're going to have a ton of good content from AMD on this and more. And there's some stuff I can't even talk about that's coming soon that I am super excited for. And we're also going to continue with the build a week. See you on the next one, guys. Peace out.